innovative content, global audience.
Good morning, Nigerians. How are you doing today? It's a beautiful day. Today is Monday and we are all glowing. Of course, you know where you are. This is SRO TV. We're broadcasting live from Abuja, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. On this program, we bring you things, topical issues, of course, things that are bordering on you, on the whole nation. How you doing this morning? Of course, I have with me this morning Daddy KRIS on the show. And of course, I will be joined later by ENE, Moses John, and of course, a legal practitioner to discuss these very weighty issues as they come. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
London is getting better. It's still cold, but it's not good for people like us. But we are surviving.
I'm happy you people to shade the coat here. You can see me now properly dressed.
Yeah, I should be dressed
even
like
though
you.
It's sunny.
I see. I like this your pullover though. It looks nice. Very.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you very loud and clear. Very loud and clear. We can hear you.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, very well. We can hear you. I can hear you.
All right. So how are you doing today? We have a lot of issues this morning.
Yeah, we are cool here. We are cool here. We'll be asking how you guys doing in Nigeria. Our system does not change. Yours change per day, per second. That is, you should be asking how you guys doing. If not, it is still the same as it was yesterday.
Yes. We could see a lot of issues rising, especially the most important one, because of course, on this show, like I will always tell people, we are more concerned about the well-being of Nigerians, not the politicians, but of course the well-being of the common man on the street who have no one to talk to them. And then we have this very trending issue today that is this Naira swap policy is becoming very serious here, that people are not able to see cash, whether or not you go to the bank, no cash, whether old or new. And of course, a lot of people also have the old ones, but people are refusing to take. Business people, institutions, they are refusing to collect this old one. And then what do we have to do at this point? A lot of people don't have money. So I had this on Friday. We saw this radio presenter, very elderly person, somewhere in Ibadan, trekking to work, of course, to go so that he could meet up with his program. He slumped and died because the distance was just too much. And of course, this, like I said, these are old people. They're just trying to make ends meet, vulnerable people. And then you bring policy to punish the people. A lot of people are even calling Buhari as of today to do something about this policy before it becomes something else. This policy is supposed to better the life of Nigeria, not to bring torment and hardship on Nigerians. And so we are really worried, and we do hope that as soon as possible, this cashless issue will be a thing of the past. You don't even at the hospitals, people are not able to pay bills. And then worst of all, your cards are not paying, the monies are hanging. You will be debited, but it will show decline. And of course, you will still have issues of you make transfer, it's pending. So where do people go from here? These are just the issues, and it's really, really sad over here, Daddy KRIS.
In fact, somebody was telling me that she had a POS. This is a POS operator, that she had a POS, and she's now helping to do transaction with the POS, because with the POS, people buy things and sell with a POS. And one of the occasions, 30,000 was transferred, and the money didn't get there, and the money didn't come back. And they were caught in between. The man sat opposite, watching her, whether she's going to run away. It was a big drama. So that kind of thing. I understand what you're saying. But sometimes Nigerian situation is something I can't just comprehend. There are things beyond human understanding. Why can't the bank again release money as usual? Okay, if they wanted to solve or clean up the system, they would have done so by now. In fact, I don't see any need for us going back to bring back the old cash. What I was expecting is for the federal government to release enough cash into circulation. Let us see how they're going to hold it. That was what I was expecting. Now, going back to the old one and then coming back to the new one, it's all confusion. You understand? And again, like you said, it's the common man suffering it. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It will not happen.
And what I think that the Chris over this issue is that after all, we've gone through the torment and the suffering. So why not just face it to the end? Why at this point you're saying you're reversing that order, that we should go back to the old notes?
Well,
This at least,
is it not what it
yes.
said? Is that not what the Supreme Court said? That's the problem. I think Buhari is not comfortable with it still. The government of the day is not comfortable with it because they have a very good reason for doing what they're doing. It's not everything government. Government has some security, they get security reports. Whether they're victimizing somebody or not, that will history will tell. All right. But right now, these guys have some security reports which they cannot open their mouth to say is the president of the country. And if you go for this kind of tough policy, I was expecting Nigeria to give him the benefit of that. I'm not defending the president for anything, but I was really happy because a situation where some people have bundles of nairas at home, we saw the drama. Bring it out, you understand? And that was it was a good policy because you cannot hoard people, Nigerians' money. If the money is for you, you might own it now. The money belongs to Nigeria. On it is written the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's not your own. It's under your care to use. So you can't hoard it. And the federal government have right to say, bring it in or bring it out. But on a good day, one will expect that the federal government we shouldn't have gone into this place because if you changing the old one, bring out the new ones. Let them come and change it. That's the point, Buhari. I don't understand why we are still where we are. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And like you said, the common man is not the one suffering it because at the end of the day,
A lot of people are dying here. A lot of people are suffering. I wouldn't even lie to you. On the news, you could see a lot of people. Like I told you, a veteran, old journalist died on Friday while trekking because he needed to meet up with the program time. And then there was no cash. He couldn't see cash anywhere. He had to start trekking. An elderly man, who knows, maybe they were head pending issues there and there. And then he had to slum and he died. When he got to the, he was complaining that he's tired, the trekking was too much. But anyway, I really do hope that because as I speak to you, I had a call. Somebody called me yesterday from a very big man at that too, but he's not a politician. He was telling me that he couldn't see cash and the mother is stranded somewhere with health issues and they are demanding for cash. This man is even willing to buy 100,000 with maybe 30,000. He was willing yesterday that he was even willing to buy 100,000 with 50,000, but he didn't get cash anywhere. And then he was just calling me that these are things we need to look into. He's really tired. People are confused. They are frustrated. They don't know where to go, who to meet. Even banks, they are not forthcoming either. So at this point, people have their own money. They are not able to lay hands on the money. I just really do hope that the government will really do something about that today or very, very quickly. Of course, we'll start this morning. We'll go quickly with our newspaper reviews and we'll start with daily trusts. We can see from here, these are the headlines making waves this morning. 48 days after Buhari's committee fails to end petrol scarcity, subsidy gulped 2.4 trillion in 6 months. Motorists buy at 300 per litre in Kaduna, others. Presidency, mom.
Can
Now,
you shape for us? Good.
These are the issues. You see that presidency uh, presidency has been silent over this fuel scarcity, which is still biting very hard, not just the Naira swap, but even fuel is another problem that we'll have. And then security also, issues of insecurities. I will just go on with the headlines. These are all these stories you could see on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then
Yes.
we have a story here, governorship poll. In Sokoto, politicians scare residents with toxic campaigns. This is the only thing they know how to do. Come out during campaigns, do all sort of evil or sort of promises. Of course, scare the people. You must vote for me. If you don't vote, we'll do this. It's really sad. We have that story is on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. So we have another story here this morning also. ACF to Buhari, Naira redesign policy can damage your credentials. It's already, if you ask me, his credentials or legacy has already been damaged because what is leaving behind is a suffering that Nigerians, I don't think they will want to forget in a very long time. We have another story here. Death toll in southern Kaduna attack rises to 17. We have that story on page 8 this morning. As you can see, like I said earlier, insecurity issues. Now in Kaduna, we hear story of bandits breaking into villages again. At a point, we thought everywhere was becoming calm and people are becoming, everywhere is becoming peaceful. But as we can see, the unrest is now coming up again. Kaduna and some other neighboring states where bandits are breaking in, kidnapping and killings. It's really sad. It's very, very sad. And then we'll have a story here also. 10.6 million Nigerians used cannabis last year. This is coming from NAFDAC.
You guys have money to do that? I thought you guys are enough cannabis.
Who is taking it? If not your politicians, they are of course they are the one that can afford it. Do I have money for such a thing? Or somebody that cannot eat well, somebody that is not being paid.
ENE is about to join us. Let's bring ENE in. All right, go on, Princess.
Okay, and so we have another story here. Lagos accounts for 2,000 stunted, 200,000 wasted.
We can't see you yet, ENE. Set fit your camera, ENE.
That is coming from UNICEF this morning. We have and that's all from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. It's really sad that a lot of people, like they said, death toll. That is the story that caught my attention, that KRIS. Death toll in southern Kaduna attack rises to 17. And this is the area where you have mostly the Christians. They are the southern Kadunas. Okay. It's really sad that this is coming back. I thought for a while that the whole thing has died off and we have a new era, but it's really sad. It's sad. And then we have another story.
What is their case? What are they saying? That is it. Sometimes I just want to know what is their grievance.
Nothing, Daddy Chris. They are just there. They are just there saying nothing. They do nothing either. So they are just there. And then they don't say anything. They don't give us their reasons. And then we have another story here that caught my attention also this morning. A story that says a motorist buy at 300 naira per liter in Kaduna and others. And that is fair to compare to Delta State. Of course, I know in Delta State, people are getting for 500 per liter from fuel stations, not black market. Even
producing state. Producing state.
In River State, people got for 700, 800 and fuel stations, not black market. And so, and the presidency is mum over this. They are quiet. They've not been saying anything as regarding the fuel scarcity and, of course, as regarding the naira swap. And this is really very sad, that Chris, if you ask me. Because this all boils down on the masses. We talk about naira swap. We talk about fuel scarcity. We talk about insecurity. It has to do mostly with Nigerian masses. And so it's really sad that the presidency has nothing to say or do about this. It's sad.
We pray, because if we live in a country where
I thought you said you don't believe in prayers, Daddy Chris. Now you want to pray. Now that's really nice.
You know, it's a language. It's not that I think we should bring this to God. We leave God alone this morning. In fact, leave my God alone on this matter. We need to stop. You see, Princess, it's funny enough that God has given us eyes to see. Now, when I have some little issues with my eyes, I fix in with glasses. I don't need to call God to come and fix this. This is the truth. You understand? This is a very, very simple things that are man-made and man can correct. In fact, God don't even have power to do some of these things. Let's be sincere. He gave us so much dominion over the earth. He gave us authority to choose who will lead us. He gave us authority to make things. He has given it to us. He gave us the earth to inherit. He has no business coming down here to come and fix it for us. We need to, do it to the glory of God. That is the anointing. When it is not done, God is disappointed. Princess, do you think God is happy that there is rape everywhere, or there is killing, or there is hunger? Why is he not doing something about it?
I don't know. Maybe we leave that for the God to answer.
So that's a good question. I want everybody watching tonight to take home.
The religious leaders, they are more closer to God than us. So maybe we leave that question for them to answer.
Who said so? Who said that they are closer to God? Some of them are misinformed, some confused village fools that became pastors. And you say they are more closer to God. I'm close to my God. I'm sorry, let's go. Because I don't believe in them. I'm 50-something years old. They are not closer to God than me. You understand?
All right. On that note, we move over quickly to the Nation newspaper, and these are some of the headlines making waves this morning. And then we'll have on the major caption here with Emefiele launches fresh plots against President-elect Tinubu. CBN boss
What is
conspires
he saying
with.
there?
Yes,
nice
that.
to hear what the Emefiele is saying.
Yes, Emefiele launches fresh plots against President-elect Tinubu. You can see it there. It's all boldly written there.
Wow. Wow.
It's going to be a long year. I don't pray so, but I'm just seeing it from one side. It's going to be a long year.
Anyway, we know that he's going to be fired the moment this new government comes in. See,
yes.
I don't think Tinubu want to work with a CBN governor like him. They'll be looking for a replacement fast.
Of course. But of course we know that new government, new changes. It's peculiar. It has been the trend over in this country. They have their cabals, they have their friends, they have the people that are loyal to them, and that is why you see they bring people that could be loyal to them. They won't bring somebody that will want to overpower or ride them. So they tend to bring people that are loyal when it comes to obeying their orders. So maybe he will just look for a loyalist and replace Emefiele with, and they move.
That's it.
But
And this whole Naira saga will be over.
And I really do hope that
pray that Tinubu comes to the interest of Nigerians at heart. Otherwise, he's going to resist. He's going to see a lot of resistance. You know they don't want him already. This election is fiercely contested. So you don't have such overwhelming support. If you track the other way, you're going to have issues. In fact, the resistance Tinubu will receive, it will be unprecedented. With what I can see from these young people, I think it should be the most careful president Nigeria will ever have. No love from beginning. In those days, when you get into office, they love you first. This is what you not get from beginning. Be ready. Go on.
We really do hope so, Daddy Chris. We do hope so. So we have another story here that says a foreign portfolio investment post first gain in 5 years on page 13 of the Nation newspaper. We have another story here. Businesses adopt new tactics to stay afloat of cash crisis. Of course, when if you go to a market in my estate, you will see the ordinary aboki that is selling as low as the goods all put together, not more than 5,000. Now have POS. POS that are declining, POS that are not even going through, but then they need to stay afloat, like this caption here. Businesses adopt new tactics to stay afloat of cash crisis on page 13 of the newspaper. And then we'll have another story here. 53 train bus accidents, victims out of hospitals on page 4. That is a good one. 35 killed in Kaduna Katsina attacks on page 7 of the newspaper.
Princess, what is the central image there? This disturbing corpse. So what's that?
Okay, it's on a sad note. That was the copper that was among people that died on the bus train accident in Lagos last week. You know, there was among the 6 people that died, there was a copper there, a young lady that was there. She died, and the coppers yesterday, on Saturday, they buried her in one of the cemeteries in Lagos. That is one of the major captions we have all over the national dailies today. It's really a sad one.
It is.
It's a sad one. I read the news. The father said in one of the details that the girl was supposed to be traveling to UK for masters immediately after her NYSC, and then this sad thing happened. It's really, I feel for the parents. The grandmother is so, they can't console her grandmother. She's apparently she's very close to the grandmom. And it's really sad. It's really sad that the grandwoman will live to see this. It's sad, and it's even more sad that at the point you think as a parent you've done your part. Now is your child, is for your part, is for your child taking care of you.
Yeah.
Yes, you've trained you've brought the girl up, you've trained her, you saw her through school. Now at this point, you're expecting her to become somebody, at least to have some rest to inherit or have some responsibility to take care of, and then they just come and just plug the person away. So it's really sad, I feel, for the parents.
No,
And may God
the thing about it is Africa, our children are our pension, because the
of
system
course.
is so disorganized that we don't have that kind of yeah. Moses is joining us this morning as well. Moses is with us now. I'll bring Moses in. Okay, so you can imagine that our system does not allow us to enjoy most of these things. I will see one Moses is a little bit steady. Ene was there and I couldn't. I will try to put her.
I think
Adam.
she's having network issues. She complained about that earlier.
Okay. Let me see what I can get in Moses now. Hello, Moses. Moses, I wish you can actually turn this your phone. There's a way you turn it, I will see you full. But don't worry, we can go with it. In your
No, he
case,
should rotate. Moses, rotate your phone. Click on rotate and turn it round. It's better off.
you guys know what to do. All right.
Okay, and so there's a story here that says CBN boss conspires with general on Lagos polls. I think this is why we saw a caption that say Emefiele launches fresh plots against President-elect Tinubu, and so that's going to be a very long one among them. I don't know, for whatever reason they are having issues, whether the president-elect or CBN governor. I don't see the connection right now. We should be talking about CBN governor and Buhari. So what's bringing Tinubu that is just president-elect is what I don't understand. Help politics anyway, politics.
Yeah. Moses, what can you tell us about the president? Because there are two important offices: the office of the governor of central bank and the president. Eh?
A very good morning to you all. I'm sorry I'm joining a bit late.
Good morning, Moses.
Okay. Well, of course, it's not far-fetched. I mean, it's not out of place at all, because we all know prior to the elections, the attack on the CBN by the then candidate of the All Progressive Congress, believing then that the policy was targeted at him. And then we also saw from his camp after the election, some were even saying that they needed to resign. You know, they will of course call for him to be removed by the president. You know, Emefiele as well as the Minister of Justice, because they believe these were persons who, according to them, misled the president on the Naira redesigning saga. So whatever that is happening right now could be maybe the body language of the president-elect, and then some persons who feels, okay, this man is still sitting, so let's attack. Let's even create this media confusion, so that the president-elect will want to, this man, you're still talking. So it's politics really, and then of course some persons believe come May 29. After the swearing in of the president-elect, that the first person is going to sack is Emefiele. So because whatever reasons those people are saying that, of course, is best known to them. But for me, I think it's not far from the fact that the CBN, I mean, with the policy of the Naira, the designing, some persons felt was targeted at them, mostly the candidate of now the president-elect per se. So I guess that is what is causing this squabbles between the two of them.
And then my sincere hope is that in all this, the Nigerians, the common people, are really suffering, and they find a way to resolve it. And so we move past this struggle, suffering, and torment being placed on Nigerians. And so we move on quickly to the Authority newspaper, and these are some of the headlines this morning. We have Black Weekend as government kill 50 in Benue State. So we saw 30-something killed in Kaduna, Southern Kaduna and Katsina, and then now again we're saying 50 killed in Benue State. This is really sad. And the right says,
Government.
yes, government.
Talk about, they are alien to us here. So government just enter and begin to shoot people in is it a lawless country? What is going on?
Yes, and then we have this is coming from the Authority newspaper. Black Weekend as gunmen kill 50 in Benue State, and then the rider says 23 in Katsina, 17 in Kaduna. So if you pull these numbers together, you see that close to 80 people or more than were killed, and it's really, really sad this morning. It's a sad one. Nigerians expresses worry over capacity of security agencies despite huge expeditions. These are the issues. So a lot of budgets being budgeted as towards securing people, and what's it called? Budget given to security people, personnel, and all that. And at the end of the day, Nigerians should be worried. Actually, look at just over one weekend, we had the issues of 23 people killed in Katsina, 17 in Kaduna, and 50 in Benue State. This is really sad. If you ask me, it is not a good one. Yes, it is sad. And then we have
indeed.
Yes, go ahead, Moses.
Honestly, I want to quickly talk about these killings. It's heartbreaking. It's something that everybody should be worried about. This is a country where billions of taxpayer money is being budgeted for security.
Right.
And we don't really know what is happening. Now, some of us have advocated for state policing in this country, and they politicize the whole thing, and we're still where we are today. I think somebody needs to be shown the way out. If Nigeria is working, somebody must be shown the way out, and as in, or he or she might throw in the towel, because it shows clearly that he has failed. Now, from last week till today, these were even official figures who we can even see. The authority are quoting, for instance. Now, how about those who nobody knows, knows about? What happened to those persons? You see. So truly, we should not be taking this thing lightly. And I really don't know why we have people who call themselves well, they are rulers, they are not leaders, I say, and they are comfortable. Things like that are happening. A life, one life. It calls for worry for any leader who believe they voted in to secure and protect the citizen. You know, but you see number of persons, and it doesn't seem it's cow or animal that they are calling. These are human beings. These are people's.
Thank you, Moses. When I hear the news, I thought they talked about killing cows and animals, they're slaughtering animals. They were talking of human beings. And you know what is so funny? Two things confuse me. In the US, for instance, this issue of state police, I don't know how it even affects the federal government. Why the federal government is against it? Because in New York, they have their New York Police Department, LA Police Department, and all that. And it helps to secure the different states. And okay, if they say we don't need state police, I know the security vote that goes to my governor, something I cry about. If you listen to Peter B, these governors receive some huge amount of money in the name of security votes. My governor gets about 2.something billion in a month as security vote. What is he doing with it if they keep killing us? So what is the essence of the security vote? To secure themselves? Can you imagine how much they use for themselves and their family? That's why they have these high fences. The politicians have high fences. They have policemen following them. But we, the other
and they are still scared. With all that protection, the high fences, they are still scared. They are not at peace. Once they hear little sound, they are so scared. The lives of people, like this person is saying, life does not matter in Nigeria because there is no government. Of course, there is no government. because you cannot say from just Friday to today you have not. We are calling human beings as though they are animals. You talk about 50 only in one state just overnight. We'll talk about Kaduna and then we'll talk about Katsina. It's really a sad one. And then these are the issues. It's a sad one. Moses, please, can you rotate your phone for us, please, Moses? Can you hear me?
If you can, it will disrupt the projection.
Moses, can you
Yes,
click?
I can hear you.
Rotate your phone so it will be on a landscape. Thank you. And then we move on quickly with the Authority newspaper, where we have Inter-Society backs Atiku Obi on electoral fraud. That story is on page 4 of the Authority newspaper. And then we'll have another story here: ex-terrorist, monarch, others nabbed for drug trafficking. We have that story in on page 7. And then, of course, we have here also Atiku fought Wike on delivering a Southern president. This is on page 3.
Well, I like to see those two people. In fact, I want to see two of you actually exchanging blow. I want to see these two men. They should put, no, we will not take you to court. I want you and Atiku. Wike, you and Atiku, you don't Ocha. If we can give you one, maybe you could go for. But it'd be nice to see these people actually fight. God will set confusion in your midst. As you are out to destroy Nigerians, you will live in confusion.
Of course, this only shows that these people don't care about the masses but themselves, and it's really sad that leaders that people look up to, and it's more frustrating to see people, the youth, actually fighting over such leaders that cannot even be reckoned with. So it's really a sad one. Yes. And then we move on quickly. There's a story here. Afebwa passes on page 3 of the newspaper. I think that's the first female senator had in the country for some time, and she was sick. I think she was sick and she died on Sunday. We have another story here. Guba Post: crisis rocks Adamawa Muslim Council over endorsement of candidates, on page 3 of the Authority newspaper. And then we have another story here: elections. Ohaneze condemns attack on Igbo traders in Lagos. Yes, in Lagos.
And it's not the same Ohaneze that said they feel comfortable, they feel at home in Lagos. They should keep
that
quiet.
Was what they said. That was what they said the other time, that they feel at home there in Lagos. Lagos is a home, and so it's up to them.
And now they're attacking them. You see, sometimes these guys need to be careful when they open their mouth. What did I say when they came back with that language? You see, and they could not actually stay behind Peter. I'm very disappointed at the Igbos on this occasion. Sometimes you don't look at tribe, but sometimes you still have your own. You understand? You keep crying. You want to break the country because I wanted Peter would have resolved the whole issue in Nigeria. I didn't know why Nigerians didn't even take this opportunity. You understand? Because let the Igbo man rule. Let us see what happened. It's only 4 years. It's not the end of the world. I don't know why we are so much in a hurry. You understand? 4 or 8 years, it will be over. Then it will go to the next person. Whatever you want to do, I think it's a very simple thing, because every part of the country, they are good people. The honest truth is,
that's right.
Yeah. If you talk of the North, if you give us Sanusi as president, we'll be jumping. You understand? Sanusi will run Nigeria. It's not, Sanusi won't give you that chance. So if Sanusi presidency, you go talk through. You understand? Or go carry this young man from carry Fashola as president. Trust me, Fashola no go listen. These are very hardcore people that can run the country. And when you come to the South Side, the people we thought they are all gone, will come again. Then we have now Peter. Peter, we didn't know existed. You know, I didn't know Peter in this. In fact, it was this campaign that brought Peter to my limelight. I said, hey, is there somebody like this? So we must have people like him that are hidden. You understand? We should give them the chance to come out. Not the old. I think the problem are the old style of doing things that need to be wiped away in the country. To be honest, we need to wipe them out.
That's very correct, Daddy Chris. And we'll wrap up the Authority newspaper with this story here that says, stop EFCC staff fingered in age falsification scandal, on page 9 of the paper. And then we have another story here that says, why Ambode, Brother Vivo, others were shot during Labour Party campaign, on page 5 of the paper. Of
shock
course,
or
they want to. Yes, they want to keep falsifying their age. They want to keep hiding their age, of course, to remain in that office for longer than necessary. Remain there so that the young people are not able to come in. And I keep saying it. You say the young people, we are the lead, where they are the future leaders. When exactly? Is it when they start having gray hair that
they
you
are
will
the
bring
today
them?
leaders. They cannot be future leaders when they are the one that have the energy to do things. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
Obama had Obama 40-something years old, president of the biggest, in fact, the highest power on earth. A 46 years old was president. Tell me if it's in Nigeria, they will tell him your time. If now Robolan, it go be youth president in your state, in your area. They said the UPU youth leader is 52 years old. How can you be youth leader at 52? You understand? Go on, my dear. I'm here.
We move on this morning to the Punch newspapers, and these are some of the stories making waves this morning on the Punch newspaper. Governors give Malami Emefiele Tuesday ultimatum to obey Supreme Court. We have that story on page 221 and 22 of the Punch newspaper. And of course, we have it. The writer says failure to comply.
You go on exile. When these people come to power, just carry your bag and go. They're not going to be easy with the people at all.
At all. And then the writer says failure to comply will lead to contempt charge on Tuesday. Zamfara AG. And then we see another one here, Rivers, Kogi, Ondo, Ekiti. ACF, Umbaka, kick Buhari, CBN faces fresh suits. And now a lot of people that were close to Buhari, we know that somebody like Umbaka was a top fan of Buhari then. Now he's not the one kicking Buhari. Of course, this is getting to everybody, like I said. Exactly. A lot of people that had so much hopes on the president now are not disappointed, of course, that the president will want to be leaving a legacy as such as this behind. And it's really a sad one.
It is. But I'm still with the president. I am still. So because if these guys can understand the weight of the financial, it's just the hardship. That's the thing I don't understand. If not, I maintain that they should close the old currency. They should close it. You understand? They should bring new one. But why to do this before he leaves? Because these people have so much. They'll bring it back. The one they buried. If it's the money journey, why did they bring it out since? It's just the poor people that we are suffering. We are the poor people. So otherwise, you see, there's no country that can survive like Nigeria, like what Nigeria is doing. You've stuck money in a home, stolen money. If the money journey, put it in the bank now. What are we talking about?
And then
in the villages where they don't have bank account, that is where this
yes. Yeah. And then we have another writer here that says old Naira rejection spreads. Report says 20 trillion lost to CBN cash mob up. And now we can see that I think Nigeria as a country is just a confused country. That is why we have so much confusion.
Certain things don't make sense. It's true. Certain things does not make sense in this country. They don't.
Anyway, we have another story here. Beavers reset ends today. INEC promises result transmission on page 28 of the Punch newspaper.
They crazy. Now don't do no damage finish. Like what Moses said, unfortunately, Moses is not with us now. Let's say
I will definitely bring him back on the show.
Yes.
Moses
said he doesn't understand. Like the same, I picked that from Moses. If Nigerians are now, because the system in the country is really working. If Buhari government did anything right for us, it's the BVN and the national identity card, NIN. It's a very unique thing because even if you want to go for your international passport now, if those two does not correspond, you won't have an international passport in Nigeria. Is that right? If that is already in place, then we don't even need a voter's card. As a Nigerian citizen with that identity, you go and vote. Because do they not have fingerprint on the NIN?
And we know that no matter what, two fingerprints can never be the same. So that would have just been the easiest way to resolve this whole issue.
So this whole card in the UK here, we don't go and register for one ID card. You go and register to vote. But the truth is, because they will not force you to vote because you want to vote. That's the essence of registry. But to prove your identity again, when you are already identified in the country, is that not stupidity? It's waste of resources. Let me understand. If you waste a lot of resources to get NIN, why wasting another resources to get another BVN, another voter's ID card, which correspond with some rubbish? Because your NIN, if they can work on that, that would be your identity in the country. When you go to a polling station, you show your this thing, they test with that. You don't need to spend another money printing another rubbish. Are we not living in the same world? Anyway, go on, Princess. This is your.
Then we have another caption here that say no going back on nationwide protest. This is coming from Labour Party on page 30 of the Punch newspaper. And then we have DHQ moms as Nigerian drops in global military ranking. Why wouldn't they drop? They cannot secure the lives. They can't do anything here. And then you are mourning. You are angry that your ranking has dropped. Wow, nice one. Kudos. Let's clap for our military. You're doing well. And then we have another stories here that says anger as government killed 35 in Katsina and Kaduna on page 5 and 4 of the newspaper. We have another story here, sacked lecturer. Senate threatens to stop UI funding on page 18 of the newspaper. Then we have a very sad one here coming to us this morning. As you can see from the picture there, you could see a very young youth copper that was, she was among the people that died from that train and bus, BRT bus accident in Lagos. And this is coming from the dad. My daughter preparing for masters in UK before train crash. This is coming from her dad, and it's really a sad one. We do condole with the family. That is all basically we have this morning on the Punch newspaper. And there's one other story here just before we go. Adamu's fate, NAS leadership top agenda as senators-elect meet Tinubu. This is on page 28 of the Punch newspaper.
Let them meet themselves. In fact, it's like Tinubu is not even up. Then we're back to what we were saying before. You see what KRIS Council said on the platform, that in the UK, just so I don't look as if I'm lying, you can even vote with your bank card. This is like a proof of identity because this identity is interlinked. If my international passport, I cannot have international passport if I don't have an NIN, and all these ones are now one. If I have my international passport, I should be able, it's a means of identity. And then I go in, do I need to carry another? You see how much Nigerians spend in printing that rubbish called voters card? For what? In fact, when we don't have money to do good things, they have money to do that. They don't have money to, if you divide the cost of that money and give it to Nigerians, you find things will move. In fact, the cost of waste. That is what Peter was always crying about. Anyway, go on, Princess. I'm very sad to come on this show when I.
Yes. On that note, that is how we wrap up with Punch. We'll be back shortly with our newspaper review, but don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll come back after this break.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of arts, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate for huge extra opportunity in diaspora. Look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
Yes.
And then we move on quickly to the Nigerian Pilot newspaper this morning. And these are some of the headlines making waves. We have here Naira swap policy. Nigerians are dying. As you can see boldly written there, Nigerians are dying, and that's correct. Nigerians are tired, they are frustrated, they are confused, either they don't know who to believe, where to go to. It's really a sad one. It's really a bad time to be a Nigerian right now. And then the writer says, ACF asked Buhari to obey Supreme Court order without further delay. And then we have says Nigerians are dying daily due to scarcity of cash, hamper inflation. We have insist no matter the benefits of the policy, manner of implementation breaches law. And then we have another writer here that says reminds Mr. President that he is under oath to defend Nigerians' law. And this is on the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. It's really sad that this is coming from the ACF, asking Buhari to obey the Supreme Court order immediately without further delay. Of course, we know why he's making that call. Nigerians are dying, and of course, the scarcity of cash. It's bringing down a lot of businesses are packing up, and a lot of people are not able to move from one point to another. They are not even able to feed at home. And then we have another, he is saying that insists that no matter the benefits of the policy, the manner of implementation breaches the law. That is it. No matter now the way you are implementing it, the manner at which the implementation was made breaches the law, and it's really a sad one. And then we have another story here that says, coming from the Nigerian Pilot newspaper also, presidential poll, Bode George queries appointment of former Lagos commissioner as INEC ICT director. This is on page 5 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. And then we have the first.
Go on.
Yes, we have the first Nigerian female senator, Franca Afegba, dies at 79 on page 11 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Also, we have another story here. Bloody weekend as bandit kills 40 in Katsina, Kaduna, on page 5 of the newspaper. Of course, we can see stories such as senators-elect begin jesting for Senate leadership positions on page 6 of the newspaper. This is the only thing they know how to do best.
Of course, now.
The way to climb on to that seat, to that position, and then when they get there, they do practically nothing. They go there and sleep. They go to National Assembly when they are on there during the session. You see senators sleeping instead of these people to go there and discuss matters as things that are bordering on the minds of the people or the nation as a country. They go there and see these men on their Bibik Adagba and Bibik Su sleeping on session.
I don't know why. I think we should have a dress code for in the Nigerian Senate where they should be allowed to be able to dress well. All these Agbada, they carry this. In fact, do you know how much they get for dressing allowance? Do you know
it's
how
much?
They get dressing allowance?
It's quite much.
Oh, God.
It's really sad.
We don't have
and you can see that they are all now fighting for that position to be a Senate president. It's really a sad one. Why we have so many issues bothering us right now, things that needed to be tackled a long time ago, and they are still here fighting for selfish interests, selfish things. It's really sad, and like I said, it's really a bad time to be a Nigerian right now. And then this is coming from Serap on page 6 of the Nigerian Pilot. Serap tells Buhari order NBC to revoke. Order NBC to revoke threat to media houses. These are the issues. All they want to do is to start gagging the press. I really want Moses to speak on this issue, so I need to bring him back on this particular story here. Of course, he's a top journalist and he should be able to tell us more on that. Then we have FCAT vows to demolish illegal estates in Apo, Lugbe areas of Abuja, of course. That story is on page 6 of the newspaper. LLC affiliate unions protest Edo Council election results. And we have also here NIS hands 11 victims of human trafficking to NAPTIP. This is on page 9 of the newspaper. And then we have also here that a CBN should call bank to order over old Naira notes. This is coming from Governor Adeleke on page 6 of the Nigerian pilot newspaper. We have to bring Moses back in course of the show, but we'll move on to leadership newspaper. But when I bring him back, I want him to discuss on this particular issue. And then we have the major headlines here says on the leadership, Rex to brief INEC chairman on Beaver's reconfiguration today at page 4 of the newspaper. We have a upload of presidential results suffers clinches on Rivers. APC groups warns against planned protest by Labour Party supporters, says it is invitation to crisis. But of course, people have right to protest peacefully also. It's their right to protest also. We have another story here that says policeman 34 others killed in Kaduna Katsina attack on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. We have this is coming from, we also have another story here. Naira notes obeys Supreme Court order. ACF tells Buhari, President Buhari on page 6 of the newspaper. And then we have some of the stories here also says that Sarah Ford's planned shutdown of broadcast stations. And this is the story exactly I want Moses to discuss, to elaborate on. We have that story is on page 12 of the leadership newspaper. And we also have another story here that says repentant terrorists, 36 others arrested for drug trafficking on page 5 of the newspaper. And we also have first Nigerian female senator Franca Afegba dies at 79 on page 7. May God rest her soul. And then we that is all we have this morning. Yes, on page and then we have another story here just before we wrap up the leadership newspaper. US bank collapse may affect financial inflows, job in Nigeria. And that is all we have this morning on the leadership newspaper. And we'll quickly move on to the Blueprint newspaper. We have the major headlines here that says, ignoring Supreme Court's order can lead to anarchy. Now, this is, and the writer says, 10 days.
Yeah. Which newspaper are you? Blueprint, right?
Yes, this is Blueprint right now. I'm on Blueprint, and that story is coming from Blueprint this morning that says ignoring Supreme Court order can lead to anarchy. This is and of course the writer says 10 days long enough for federal government to comply. Adeleke urges CBN to call banks to order. And then we have another story here. Commercial banks can't loses amid cash scarcity. Abia government threatening to sanction individuals rejecting the old notes. And then we can see that the main headline and all the riders there, you can see those stories on page 6 of the paper, and they all bet on this Naira issue. Of course, at this point that the governors are now calling out, the big men are now calling. Me said the thing don't reach them for where they, and just maybe there's going to be a final solution to this, because we know all the while it's just the common man that has been calling on the government to do something about it. But I noticed that since last week, some of these governors, they started calling, big men, they started calling them, they've been crying out. That means also this is actually affecting them, and it's a good one because we're all in this together, so everyone should be affected, not some quarters alone. And then we have another story here, 17 key in Sada Kaduna attacks, rephrasal. And then we'll have another story here, generator fume kills woman, baby in Ondo, is sad one, on page 14 of the newspaper. And then we'll have another story here, call for Adamu sack, time to show Salihu, Lukman orders out, APC group. This is on page 7 and 15 of the Blueprint newspaper. And we have also 1/5 columnist against hitting the polity. It is time we address power balancing in party. This is coming from a rights activist on page 5. And then we also have on page 5, racism. Saplet lied on charges, revocation of CEO's Nigerian work permit visa. You see that story on page 5 of the paper. And then we also have here February 25th polls, agents of destabilization calling for sack of INEC boss. This is coming from AYCF on page 8 of the newspaper.
That must be APC people. They can't see anything wrong with INEC chairman, but they want to remove the CBN governor. You are crazy, man.
Yeah.
They are all crazy people.
Yes, and then we have also on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper, Naira strengthening against dollar as voters sells election spoils. We also have another story here on page 13 that says Bohaushi, 2 PDP chieftains back 3 years jail for 142 million naira bribe scam. The way these people call the money though is as if it's just one small money.
You know how much that is? I don't even want to think about it.
Politicians are the most dubious set of people I've ever seen. They call money though as though it's a very small thing.
The ones in Nigeria, they deserve death. What they're doing, the truth is, this punishment is too harsh on the ordinary people. You can see the campaign going on within the governor's race now, and you can see the bitterness. If the bitterness is about the money, you know these guys are out there. If you are going there to serve me, why spending all this money? Why running? Why killing to get there? I'm going to serve. If you don't want me to serve, I'll go to my house. That is how it's supposed to be. Now we're mean people. We are ruthless people, and we pray that we get to an end of this soon. Really pray for that. Anyway.
Yes. Now we have the last story here on the Blueprint newspaper that says, "Let loyalty, competence courts informing your cabinet." Groups tells Tinubu. That story is on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper. Of course, we need competent people this time around. We need not just people to come and a name to hold a title, but people that are competent, and that is a good one. This is coming from the Business Day newspaper. We move quickly to the Business Day newspaper, where we have Old Naira, Buhari's silence deepens Nigerians' pain. It's really sad because when we talk about this Naira swap issue, Buhari, people feel like Buhari is not doing enough. And this is even worsening the pains of Nigerians. They should come out and say something and do something about this. It's really sad. And then we have another stories here that say good roads do not fall from the sky. Your taxes pay for them. Which taxes? How much are you paying the people? Let's start from there. How much is the minimum wage? And sometimes these salaries are being owed for months before you even pay these people. And so which taxes are we talking about here? Let the big men politicians start paying taxes. After all, they earn 2 billions. They earn billions on monthly basis. These are some of the story also making waves this morning. We have another story here that says stocks election risk as local investors control deals. We have another story here that say Nigerian lags five fastest growing African economies. That story is on page 35 of the newspaper. We also have a story here that say Nigerian tech firms face minimal impact of SVB collapse. On page 27 of the newspaper, we also have another story here that says should CBN determine bank directors' tenure? That is a question that is coming from. You go to that page 35 to see that story, and I think, yes, I think that it's all boiled down. You could see that from the dailies we've taken so far. You could see that it's still one thing. It's still one thing that everybody is crying out for. These I think CBN governor also should, if they are saying go back, or we don't want the old naira note, then make the new ones available. Because as we speak, the major election is gone. So let's focus on the lives of Nigerians. If they don't be alive to
There's
vote
still
for the
election on Friday. Let us finish this Saturday elections first.
yes,
This criminal.
Daddy Chris, but of course these Nigerians, the people, the populists, we have to stay alive to vote. So if they are not alive to vote, how would they vote for you? If they are not feeding well, how will they vote for you? A
If they
lot of
cannot
people
transport, yes, if they cannot get,
cannot
and they
transport.
actually
I
expect people to travel home to go and vote,
yes,
and that's the problem. There's no cash.
I kid you not. I kid you not, Daddy Chris. I kid you not that that the people here, a lot of people, I have seen matured men, matured women not having a dime with them. Daddy Chris, this is a very serious situation. That in church yesterday, I had to practically promise like 3 people cash because they felt that they are not going to their offices. So no
Princess,
way,
how do you
no
even
hope.
get your cash? Because I'm getting confused now. This is your style, fine girl style. Because the way you get your cash, I don't understand. I'm scared
Daddy
of
Chris,
you.
that
Eh,
is the good thing about being a fine girl, and of
yeah,
course
I
I don't
agree.
stress to get cash, to get
In
fuel or
fact,
anything.
Princess, all that is
I be
happening, you
God,
always I fear Nigeria. Anyway,
I be God picking, and of course,
I agree.
things usually comes easy for me. But
Okay.
on a serious note, I really do feel for these people. Like I said yesterday, I practically had to give 2 people money to go to work today, and they are telling me that once that one finish and they don't have another cash, they will just have to call their different bosses and stay at home. And work from home, of course, because it's really a sad one that people are not able to move from one point, and they are not even able to feed. Let's leave the transportation. They are
I
not
agree.
able to feed. I practically went to the market on Saturday. I went with my card, and a bookie that was selling meat and fish. The card also declined, and I couldn't buy, so I just came back to my house quietly. And that is what we have been going through here. Is really a sad one. And then we move on quickly to the Tribune, and these are some of the headlines this morning on Nigerian Tribune. We have governorship poll: Lagos, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, Delta, 8 others are key battle states. This and the writer says. Photo finish race expected in Sokoto, Nasarawa, Akwa Ibom, Benue, Kano. You have this on page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And then we'll have another story here. Train bus accident. Lagos hospital discharged 21 more patients. Total now 53 patients. And then we have also, that story is on page 27 of the paper. And then we have a story here that says presidential poll: we hope cause we work so that we don't hit the streets. This is LP. Now, the Labour Party is insisting that except the court does justice to the judgment, they are still going to be hitting the streets all the time, of course, to protest peacefully. And then we have another story here that says, one of the headlines also say, Naira redesign, comply with Supreme Court order ruling to avert unrest, ACF advises Buhari.
You know,
And we
what is
have
going to
other
about
stories.
unrest is the vote, that is the protest of the vote, not the Naira swap. You see, there are two things going on, The Nigerians, they want to divert attention. Look at these guys now. Look at the like of this man who's killing his own people, Yahya Bello. Busy killing his own people. All he cares about is how the Naira swap. Tell us how you keep people in your bloody state. You see, these guys, I know it's unfortunate that the CBN and the Buhari couldn't handle that thing, that there's enough money in the country. But these people, and I'm still, I can't fault it. I cannot fault change of Naira. There's too much Nigerian money in the dungeon. It's not allowed. It's not safe for the country. It's not, the money we are looking for, the money they say we are owing, is buried somewhere. I say, bring it out, invest it. I don't even mind. It's your money, but invest it. Don't bury it. It's very pitiable, honestly.
It's really a sad one that it creates. It's really a sad one. And then we also have a story here, also on the Tribune newspaper that says, uh, that says, Let me quickly go to that. We have a story here also that is coming from uh, 17 corpses found after bandits attack community in Kaduna. It's really a sad one. 24-hour curfew imposed in 4 villages on page 6 of that news, Nigerian Tribune. We also have a story here that is coming from Oyo State people are prospering and happy under Sheyi Makinde. Pensioners get their pension on time. Government workers get their pay when due. Traders sells and make profits. Lutech is free and working. Jaguar politicians are scheming to reverse these gains. We must say no to them. This is coming from PDP, of course, Sheyi Makinde. Politicians, when it's time to campaign, they can say anything, just to anything so sweet, well packaged, just of course so get your attention and all that. But I really do beckon on the people over there to vote wisely, of course, and to vote with their conscience. You cannot allow your conscience to be bought at this point in time. And then we have we have on this day, we move to this day newspaper. This is the last paper we have for today. And I'm already smiling because of one of the captions I saw. Of course, anything that has to do with article, I usually smile because it's really pathetic and it's really sad that this could be coming from this battle. This face me, I face you, coming from Wiki and article is quite interesting. And then we have a story here. US diplomats says even supporters of winners in Nigeria's poll disappointed with the electoral process. This is coming from a diplomat, the US diplomats, that even APC supporters also, because of course they won, but they were still disappointed. They are disappointed in the electoral process. And then we have the writer that says the INEC failed to live up to high expectations it had created for itself. I think INEC is leaving no legacy behind. Talking about Yakubu, it really is really sad.
Yakubu is gone. Story.
Africa must learn. Yes, the US diplomat is saying that INEC failed to live up to high expectation it had created for itself. And then it's they also, the US diplomats are also insisting that Nigerians, Africa must learn from this mistake, as to not to have something like this in the future. It was a very grievous mistake, as we all know that. And then we have another story here, and this is coming from article. Wike's 40 years old whiskey comments confirms he's under alcohol influence. This is coming from
that's interesting.
Yes,
that's interesting.
It's really a sad one. So
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 alcohol, I want the two of you to say, bro. I love these two guys, man.
So they're not seeing Wiki as of course an alcoholist. Is good for them. Yes. And then we have we have another one here that says NESA urges incoming president to outline plans for economy on page 10 of this day newspaper. And of course, we have, as Nigerians struggle with crude theft, Saudi Aramco posts record of $161 billion profits. Just look at other countries, and we are still here. Politicians are here dragging seats, dragging left and right. It's really so disgraceful and it's shameful.
It is.
Yes, it is. And then these are some of the story we have trending this morning. We have, let me take the last story here that say, that is not very clear. And so we wrap it up there from the newspaper review session this morning with this day newspaper. But of course, I want to throw this to you, Daddy Chris. We could see on this day newspaper that diplomats, one of the writer on the main headline says that they are insisting that even some of they're insisting that even the winners now, the supporters of the winner, supporters of Tinubu also are saying that are disappointed in the electoral process. What do you have to say about that?
In fact, the truth is, maybe God, we will see whether God can use the
Judiciary.
judiciary to sort this issue and make it be clearer. We don't care who wins. You know, if Tinubu did win, but let it be. See, what would have happened is the result released on time, the unnecessary delay didn't happen, and the victimization was going to take place at some point in time. It was not unexpected, but INEC should have released the result on time. That is one of those things. That's where the whole suspect comes in. And so everybody, including the president-elect himself, must be disappointed unless he's among those that take advantage of the situation, because definitely something went wrong and somebody was responsible. We don't know who, and we cannot just keep quiet and allow that to continue, because it will linger on. So we need to know what happened, why the results were not released as planned. That is something Nigerians need to, in fact, it's something I need to come and explain in detail, not on just one, on a serious press conference, answering our questions, why it happened and why it will not happen again and what they are doing about it. These are very basic things, you understand? Until that is done, this revolution will continue. And I can understand what Labour can see, because if what we see now, we think we're blaming only the APC for the atrocity. It was not only APC. PDP did their own in their own states. They oppressed Labour. Labour was their problem. You understand? So imagine PDP oppressing Labour, APC fighting Labour. In fact, at the point in time, APC were no more fighting PDP because they were not problems anymore. They had their comfortable regions. It was Labour that was taking it out from them. So they were fighting. Look at what Okowa did in our state. And it's the same Okowa that went to the federal level to complain. And you get confused. You understand? It's a complex country to run. It's a complex society. Nigeria, it is. It is.
And then also we have I really wanted Moses to speak on that, because of course he's a senior journalist here in Abuja, and of course he has been in the media for quite some time. And then we'll have also this story here that says Sarah Ford's plan to shut down shutdown of broadcast stations. And then we know also that this is coming at the verge of this election, of course, election. Thank God. I really wanted him to be here. Moses, you're welcome back to the show.
Moses, we wanted Moses is getting ready. He said I should give him a minute time.
Yes, and because Sarah Ford's planned shutdown of broadcast stations. And then I think this is very peculiar with some of these politicians, some of these people, power that be, that when a TV station is particularly portraying something that is not in their interest, they tend to want to gag information or to press that particular station.
I think Arise is their number one enemy. Arise is because there are some journalists there that takes no shit for no. In fact, they are not even as friendly as what you see on channels. You understand? So I know they must be their target. Arise is my station right now, because if you see what they're doing, I mean, there are two journalists there. When they pick up the issue, they tear it to pieces. You understand? And they're sincere. And this is a time when Nigerians need that level of journalism. In fact, if journalists know what they have or the role they should be playing in society, they should rise up to this challenge. Like the call now, INEC need to. Nobody's going to say it. It's not the ordinary man at home that's going to say this. It's the journalists that will help us to shout again and again that INEC, we need an explanation of what happened, what was responsible, who is responsible. Take those people to book and tell us, show to us, it's our money. You're working for us. It's not like we employ somebody to work for us. Tell us that this thing will not happen again. We need to know.
Do we still have Moses around, sir?
Moses is still is getting set. I can see his seat vacant. Once he's back, I'll bring him on the show.
Okay, because we have Sarah also tells Buhari to order NBC to revoke threats to media houses, and then they are waiting on the president to also tell these Nigeria, NBC to revoke that threat on which they are being a lot of course we already know that is a trend here in Nigeria where once it's not in their favor, they will make sure they gag the press by all means. And of course, when sometimes they have sensitive issues. Right now, we have issues of fuel scarcity, which this is dealing with everyone in the country. We have the naira swap, and then when they see that you're hitting too much nail on it, the next thing they want to gag that station. We really do hope that the Buhari, and of course, I'm waiting on Moses also. I really want him to discuss on that issue. And then we also have this story here. I've been in Abuja for years. They say FCTA vows to demolish illegal estates in Apo and Lugbe areas of Abuja. And then I'm wondering that most of these estates also were bought from the lands were acquired from federal government. Daddy Chris, this issue cannot be overemphasized on. Do you know that we know some of these estates, some of these lands, some of these landlords they got from federal government, and so why are we now having the same issue? Federal government will give you a land, they will sell to you, and after some years they will come and say it's an illegal structure or that part is meant for something else, and then people would have spent so much in building, structuring the place, and then tomorrow you come and you start, and they sometimes that Chris, I have been to where they are demolishing homes. Oh my goodness, that is not what you want to see. They come and they pull down everything, including what your property, everything inside. They don't care. Within 20 minutes, 1 hour, they are done and they go. And it's really sad because I know a lot of people buy also. We know in Abuja that as young as I am here in Abuja and all these years I've been here, I can never go and buy a land from an individual. It is not done in Abuja, whether or not the person is an indigent. Of course, we have the Abuja indigents, the Gbagi people, but I can never get a land from them because of course you have to go to FCDA, you have to get a land from there for proper documentation and all that. And then these same governments will come after some years and tell you, imagine this is a poll we are talking about. So this is not the Apo per se. We know this is the new Gariki, but it's not centralized at, it's not even close, somehow close to the central area. So why are you coming to Apo to demolish estates, saying it's an illegal structure? And then you're going to Lugbe Airport Road also. And a lot of these people buy from government, so it's kind of I don't know, it's so confusing. Of course, we know everything in Nigeria is as confusing as the word confusing. Yes, but this is really sad because a lot of people would have invested so much money in building this estate, starting from scratch to the point they are now, and then tomorrow government just comes from nowhere and demolish. It's really sad and I feel for them.
Let's bring Moses back. Before we end the show. Yeah, Moses, welcome.
Yeah. I am very sorry. Yes, I'm very sorry. I had to quickly dash. My boss came in and called, so I needed to attend to him.
All right, that's okay. Yeah. And then Moses, we have on a Pilot newspaper, and of course we have also on Pilot and then Leadership newspaper also. One of the headlines here says Serap Fort planned shutdown of broadcast station on the Leadership newspaper. And then when you go to the Pilot newspaper also, now Serap is calling on Buhari now. They are calling on the president to order NBC to revoke threat to media houses. Of course, we know that this period, a lot of people are trying to gag the press from saying the truth, and of course from exercising their rights as you don't want them also to have free access to information. Now, what's your take on that? What do you think about this?
Well, it's actually a welcome development for Sarah, because truly it is a kind of gag in the gagging the media for NBC for any reason to want to fine or withdraw licenses of every broadcast media houses. You know what happened to the freedom of press? The press have the right to hold government and to report every issue the way they are. You also need to bring up different opinions so that the public can also have an informed information or an informed.
Yeah, Moses is right. We need different points of view, different angles, different arguments to draw conclusions. And that's the job of the press. They bring everything to bear. And I'm even blaming the Nigerian press for not doing enough, not trying to shut them down. It's a, it's a shame on anybody.
And of course also we know the cause like this usually comes during elections or the time we have critical issues we're dealing with, and that is the only time you will see MBS trying to revoke licenses of stations and trying to gag the press. It's only when we have issues such as elections, such as issues of fuel scarcities like this, and it's really sad because the press is supposed to have free access to information, and of course they are the bridge between the government and the people. So
in fact, the press don't have access to information in the country, and that is the shameful thing. You see, your government will release budget, they will tell you social amount of money is released. We don't have those information to track, to ask. Those are things, very important things. In fact, you need to see what the British press do here. To hell with you in Downing Street. They will be there following your ass 24/7. You understand? And that is the only way they will be able to protect the country. Your job as a press, although there are two ways. We always say two people, Princess, let me analyze this. There are two ways you shoot. There are only two languages where you use shoot on earth. You can shoot with a gun. You understand? With a gun, you shoot. And you also shoot with a camera. Have you ever said, we're going to shoot a movie? Both of them can kill you. They can protect you, and they can use it to kill you. So that's the weapon the press have. You have a camera to shoot, the same way they have a gun to shoot. Both of them are equal weapon with equal power. Because with your camera, you shoot, that man could be dead. His career is over. He runs from it because he has done something. You see, that's the wisdom behind language, shoot. The press in Nigeria must take advantage of the weapon at their disposal. In fact, the ordinary Nigerians are using this well now. Most of the news we are getting today is coming from ordinary Nigerians who's using their weapon to shoot. They're shooting. You see, the press, as the train was, you saw that train. At the moment that accident happened, somebody was filming it for the press. And that is the only way we put the government accountable. What did you do, sir? And the government is now on the run. Before they know, the thing is in the media. You understand? And not even they don't have, thank God, it's not only the traditional media now. The social media have it more powerful. So they cannot control. If you can control, if you take licenses, are you going to stop people from putting this on Facebook? Unless you have to stop Facebook too. So the thing is beyond any government. And I'm happy for that. Very happy.
It's really a sad one also that we saw this morning from the press that a lot of people died over the weekend to today, from Katsina to Kaduna to Benue State. These are parents, these are children, these are women, these are the vulnerables. And then the government is not able to come out and give a proper press statement. I know other countries where a single soul die and the government is in jeopardy. They will do everything to make sure they see to the end of it. But like in Nigeria, like we always say, no life matters here to them. It's about them. Look at what they're saying this morning. They are fighting for the seat of the Senate president. Why we have issues as trendy as this morning, where we have,
and then they're talking about
people dying in their numbers, and of course we saw that of course the military is even they are murmuring because they've left the 5th ranking down. Why won't you go down when you don't know your onions? You don't know what you're supposed to do. The lives of the people here don't matter to you.
In fact, look at what happened in Germany, Princess. There's a killing in the church in Germany. It was a Jehovah's Witness. And you know, when the police came there, or when the mayor was addressing us, he said, these are the kind of things they see on television. It's alien to them. You understand? But in Nigeria, it's like killing is part of us. You don't just kill. They just, some people enter some village and they kill. And they take some people. They just, in fact, what a lawless society. We get to stop this. It's no joke. That's the greatest threat to the country called Nigeria. You understand? This barbaric act of, in fact, I don't know where it's coming from. And you can see the politicians taking part in it. Because a politician could kill, they could loot, they could do all these things in an election period. What stopped the ordinary people from doing what they're doing? What stops them? And because you cannot see that happening in the UK. In fact, there will be no killing in the name of election in the United Kingdom. It will never happen. It can never happen. And you people, do they watch us? Do they see what people do outside the world? We are laughing stock. Nigerians, they laugh at you. You understand? And this is why I'm wondering why the American government is so careful congratulating the stupid election. You understand? They should have come out clearly and said this result is not. It doesn't reflect the will of Nigeria.
But Daddy Chris, of course, we saw from this morning where the U.S. diplomat says that even the winners' supporters are faulting the electoral process. That means that something actually went wrong on that election. Something wasn't right, and this is coming again from U.S. diplomat. It says even supporters of winners in Nigerians poll disappointed in the electoral process. And so that shows that something is actually, and they also said tech failed to live up to high expectation it had created for itself. Insist Africa must learn from this mistake. Of course, there were mistakes. This is coming from US.
Good.
There were mistakes, and of course,
they should be more direct. They should be more direct, because if you don't correct these people, they think they're doing the right thing, sir. You got to be sincere. You're going to hit the nail, and so that they can learn. Because this will not happen. In fact, America, you guys do fight, because I know the Democrats and the Republicans, they also at a loggerhead over
there. Yes.
Princess, I'm interested in
sad one also.
Lagos, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, and Delta, 8 others are key battle states when it comes to this state.
Yes,
to the state election.
Yes, so the governorship election, right? Yes, we have that story on Tribune. Yes, they said that story is saying on Tribune we have Lagos, Oyo, Rivers, Kaduna, Delta. 8 others are key battle states. Of course, we know. And that is why yesterday on the evening show, we also we used Delta also as a case study to other states. We really do hope that in all this they do, I speak for the youth. I represent the youth, and of course, I am more concerned about them. Whatever they do, we know they are key states at this point. People look up to these states, but then at the end of the day, the youth should be wiser and be sensible also in dealing with these old men called politicians, as to not destroy their own lives on the process. And also, there's a story here that KRIS that says a train bus accident. Lagos hospital discharged 21 more patients. They've discharged some before, and now they're discharging others. Total now 53 is a good one. Although with the picture here, we can see it's a very sad one, the couple that died. But of course, we are happy also that those that were injured are coming out gradually, and so that's the good news. And then we'll also have a story in one of the papers that say generator fumes kill a woman and the baby. So I'm even trying to appeal to Nigerians when they try to, and this is the story on Blueprint newspaper that say generator fume kills woman, baby in Ondo. People should be careful with these things. Naturally, when you fleece your house or there is a smoke somewhere as little as stove or something, it's usually too heavy for you to take in. Sometimes it's difficult for you to breathe, let alone when it comes to do with Jen. And of course, in such, I guess maybe she was already sleeping with the baby. So I think this generator, anything that has to do with that, should be far away from your room or should be kept aside or somewhere far away. It's really a sad one. And we also condole with her family also. And we see that the major headlines today is the ACF calling on Buhari to obey court order. Of course, ignoring the court order can lead to anarchy. And of course, because a lot of people are already dying, you see that at the start of this whole policy, we saw some banks were destroyed, were burnt down, were shut down also. So I don't want a situation now where this issue will now lead to another major crisis. It will be disastrous.
But this
Buhari and the people
involved. It's not illegal. I mean, they bring in the legal experts in, which is unfortunate that the Supreme Court decided to rule on this matter. But it was purely a political issue. You understand? To be honest, it's a purely political issue. It's about management. And the Supreme Court should have been very careful how they weigh in on this matter. It is a purely political issue. It borders on the life of Nigerians who were suffering, but it was purely a political issue. It wasn't a legal issue. In fact, where they find the legal basis to draw their conclusion, they have to be very careful. You understand? Supreme Court, they have to be very careful because the president, on a political basis, decided to make a decision. All right. Yes, the Supreme Court can weigh in from time to time, but it's always wise for Supreme Court to be very careful how they weigh in on political issues. This was purely a political issue. You understand? That you see, that's why you see different fashion. Some are happy, some are not happy. Before court weighing on such matters, they learn. You understand? And the highest court of the land, you see, when you call on president to do certain things, he has power. You understand? He is the executive, the head of the executive. He can do and undo. The power has been given to him. You understand? So he can choose. That's why a lawyer that came, I love one of the lawyers was saying that CNN should be the Supreme Court should be very careful how because the essence of a law is for it to be obeyed. The highest obeying authority of your law, or the person who will enforce the law, is the executive. So there is always that synergy between these two. It's okay to make a pronunciation. You can't force him to obey it. These are things wise court consider before drawing conclusions. Sometimes they say this is beyond us. Anyway, the British court will do that because here, in our case here, the parliament is supreme. The court cannot overrule the decision of the parliament. You see the difference? But in Nigeria, which is this system, our Supreme Court can overrule the decision of the president, which is strange. It's a two different things. So I find it difficult to actually weigh in. In the UK, there will be no court that will overrule the decision of the MP, of the House of Parliament. It's not happening because the parliament in the United Kingdom is supreme. And I expected the office of the president to be supreme, to overrule the decision of the president. But it's a different system. So I won't be able to weigh in too much on that.
It's really a sad one, and also we're really hoping that the security agency will do more as to secure the lives and property of people. We could see that over just one weekend, the numbers of people have lost their lives. A lot of people have died across so many states. It's really a sad one. We do sincerely hope that the security agency, the chiefs, will come together and find a lasting solution to this. Of course, that is why in the first place people voted APC, brought in Buhari because of these issues. But we've seen that over the years they have grown from bad to worse, and we're really hoping that this one that Tinubu is coming in, we're not going to see more than we already saw in the past. That KRIS is really a sad one. And then just before we go, we want to remind you of our Nigerian Week London. Be part of it. That KRIS, it's going to be fun. We all know. Yes, we have a lot of people.
I can't wait to receive Nigerians in the UK. I'm waiting to receive them, to see different bodies coming to say what they do, how they do it. It's a stage where Nigerian can be properly exhibited. Nigeria, our food, our culture, our music, our films, our way of life. You know, this is so important. Maybe that. My take is Nigeria is being diverse. It's a blessing. It shouldn't be a curse. You understand? And this is where you see it. That when you see the Nigerian national troupe, when they perform the Yoruba Bata dance, the Igbo Atilogu, and the Yoruba and the Hausa dance, you see everything in one. And it means we are the same people. We are one. We can we can live our life that way. It's only politics that is really separating us. It's not Islam. It's not this. And I maintain, the problem is the rich and the poor.
That's right. And so we are more and more excited about the business opportunities I'm going to get there. Not just the fun, but of course the business part of it. Of course, a lot of celebrities also would be there. and it's going to be interesting. We know, and the food. I love the food. I can't emphasize on that. I can't wait to see different delicacy here and there, and of course, you know how Nigeria.
You're always interested in the food, Princess. Ah, yeah.
Look at the way I'm looking at it, Chris. Am I not fresh enough? It's the food.
Yeah. Okay. There's God who.
And somebody says Tinubu is not coming. We leave that for the judiciary to decide, of course. Yes, and then we have a lot of cultural dances, like you said. We have the film people that will be around. Of course, we have music. We have a lot of things. It's going to be fun. We are calling on every individuals, agencies, in ministries to be part of it, and of course, our face of. I'm going to bring her this week, actually, the face of SRTV, because we have the pageants. The registration is on right now. It's just 500 naira for you to register online with your picture, age, and of course your state of origin. Be part of it, all my beautiful girls out there. Who knows, you might just be the one wearing the crown. But of course, I'm going to bring her in to throw more lights on it, maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow on the show. Daddy Chris, it's been so nice doing this with you this morning. Yes. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. And then, so thank you for having you on the show this morning. You've done justice to some of these headlines, and we do hope, like we said earlier, that appropriate authorities, of course, we do well to hear the cause and the cries of Nigerians. Like one of the major headlines says, I don't know if that is this day, or one of the papers said Nigerians are dying, and of course Nigerians are dying. It has gotten to a point where people walk on the street and they slump and they just die of hunger, of stress, of tiredness, of frustration, of anger. And so we're calling on the authorities, of course, Buhari particularly, to do the needful. Of course, we also saw here that ignoring Supreme Court's order could lead to anarchy. A lot of this Naira design issue is it's taking too long. We cannot say because of election, of course, even because of the election, but we saw the lapses during the presidential election. That means that it's not a money issue. Election that will be rigged with or without money involved. So we pray, we sincerely hope that they will sit up and do what is right for the interest of the common man and of course Nigeria as a country. Thank you so much, Daddy Chris. We do this again tomorrow, and Nigerians, as you're out there, stay safe, be at alert. Please, we beg you to remain calm and everything. There's a better tomorrow. And of course, we really do hope that the authorities will try and resolve this issue. But while you're out there, stay safe and be at alert. Do have a very lovely day. I remain yours, Princess KESSY. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Good night. I'd like to say good night because I won't see you till tomorrow. I'll see you this evening anyway on my show. God bless you.
All right. Bye.
SRTV.